Alright guys, welcome back to another YouTube video on my channel. Hope you guys enjoyed the Geelong v Richmond where we absolutely yellow and smacked them in the faces at GMHBA Stadium. Right, here we go. Let's move on to round number 18 footy tips. The first game is between Carlton and Brisbane Lions at the Marvel Stadium. So now, even at Marvel Stadium, Brisbane can just play anywhere and where they would like to. As look, they're just good at playing even at GMHBA, MCG and Marvel. Well, and look, Carlton, that's just a putrid watch. I can't see Brisbane winning this. Carlton. I just can't see Carlton winning this. Damn, because look, Carlton, I'll tell you why I'm like that, because I'm just really concerned about Carlton's performance against Collingwood last week. It was just absolutely putrid. It's horrible. So, and look, the Lions, the reigning premiers, they should be able to get the job done. Want to go with the Brisbane Lions to get this done by, let's go with the Lions to get this done by 32 points, and the big call, Charlie Cameron to kick at least 4 goals. The next game is on the 11th of July between Gold Coast and Collingwood on a Friday night under the lights. This is going to be an absolutely unbelievable game. Gold Coast is going to wear pink jerseys for the first time in front of the Suns' home crowd at People First Stadium against just such a strong Collingwood side, which has been absolutely magnificent throughout the entire season. They only lost 2 games so far in the season. And look, they're up by 10 points on the top of the ladder. Second, Brisbane on 46. First, Collingwood with 56. Well, look, even though they're People First, hey, guess what? Look, Collingwood, they just can play anywhere. They only lost to GWS and Geelong. And look at Gold Coast. They've been really good at their home deck, but they've lost to 3 of their past 5 games. They got wins against Melbourne and Essendon recently. Can they make it 3 in a row? I want to take a big risk and tip the Gold Coast Suns to get this done in a massive upset. I'm going to say the Suns to get this done by 5 points. In the big call, the margin will not go over 30 points at any stage of the game whatsoever. Alright, the next game is between the Dogs and the Crows at Marvel Stadium. Now, look, these 2 teams, when they go together, this could be an interesting game. It's at Marvel Stadium, and the Dogs have a home ground advantage. Coming off the Dogs winning 4 in a row against North in the last quarter runaway. Adelaide had to come from 28 points down to beat Melbourne with 13 points last week. So both of the teams in the second half, all lane the game has worked their asses off and won the game. Now, this is interesting. So, Marvel Stadium and the Dogs coming off 4 in a row. I think the Dogs will be able to get the job done. So, Marvel Stadium and the Dogs know how to play this at Marvel better than Adelaide. But you can't count the Crows out because, look, they're a good side. They're 3rd in the table. They're fighting for a top 4 finish. So, I think I'm going to tip the Dogs to get this done. I'm going to say the Dogs to get this done by 14 points, and the big call is Adelaide wins 2 of the 4 quarters. The next game is between GWS and Geelong at NG Stadium. Now, that's the game I'm going to. My first ever interstate game I'm ever going to in Sydney. We're leaving Sydney tomorrow on Thursday morning. Giants and Geelong coming off after a massive win over the Tigers at GMHBA. Geelong would want to keep the momentum going, as the Giants look they're hanging onto the top 8, but because they have a higher percentage than Fremantle, 112 to 108.8. That's the difference between 8th and 9th. Giants want to try and win this to see if they can go higher in the top 8, but hopefully the Cats get this done because hopefully I can vlog my first ever away game at Geelong win. So I'm going to go with the Cats to get this done. We'll say Geelong to get this done by, let's go 15 points. And the big call is Bailey Smith gets at least 25% disposals after his return from illness from last week against the Tigers. Only if he comes back. The next game's at the MCG between Richmond and Essendon, the Dreamtime rematch at the MCG. Now look, Richmond after getting smashed by Geelong last week at GMHBA, and this does not go any worse for them as well. Sam Layla, after coming back from a hamstring injury, he has redid his hammy once again when they play against Geelong. So, I don't know what to say about the Tigers. But look, at least the Tigers do have some promising players. But Essendon, they fought for 3 quarters against Gold Coast, but just couldn't get the job done. I don't know how. Expect the Bombers to get this done. There's no way I can see Richmond winning this. So I'm just going to go to the safe option and go to the Dons to get this done by Essendon to get this done by 4 goals, which is 24 points, and the big call is margin no over 40 points. Not go over 40 points. The next game's between Fremantle and Hawthorn now off the stadium. Now this game could be interesting. Is that off the stadium? Oh. Look, Hawthorn, they're such a good side. Coming off 4 wins in a row, can they make it 5 and surge up higher on the ladder? If Hawthorn wins and we lose, we drop out the top 4. So damn. So, and look, Fremantle, but you can't count the Dockers out, because look, Fremantle, they're just a good side playing off the stadium. Even though they won loss against Sydney last week at the SCG, Fremantle would want to win in order to keep in touch with the top 8 as well. But would need other results to go in a worse way. Even though Fremantle, they don't have the big gun Michael Walters, as he's retired from playing footy in the middle of the season. So I think I'm going to tip the Dockers to get this done, because it's off the stadium, and look, Freo, they play so well there. So I'm going to go the Dockers to get this done by, let's go 12 points, and the big call is, if Jai Amos is playing, he gets at least 2 goals. The next game's between Melbourne and North Melbourne at the MCG. Now, this may be a snooze fest, as look, these 2 sides, they're like the bottom, the bottom 6 sides. Each team, seriously, they've lost. Sorry, it's like Melbourne's lost their past 5 and would want to try and get back to the winners list, which they should, but you can't rule out North Melbourne side, which they've been really well against the Dogs for the 3 quarters. Then the Dogs just run away. So I think the D's will get this done, because it's at the MCG and they've got a more experienced side than North Melbourne. So I'm going to say the D's to get this done by 19 points, and the big call Petrarca, if he's playing, gets at least 20 disposals. The next game's between St Kilda and Sydney at Marvel Stadium. Now, look, the Saints, damn, they had a good fight against Hawthorn, but obviously the Hawks, they're just too good last week at the Marvel Stadium once again. So it's another St Kilda home game. And the Swans, coming off a win against the Dockers last week, they keep the season alive, but I think they have to win 8 in a row in order to reach the finals. So this should be another win for Sydney. I'll be surprised if the Saints win this. But I'm just going to go with the Swans to get this done. The Swans to get this done by, let's say, 22 points. And the big call is Isaac Heaney kicks at least 3 goals. The last game between Port Adelaide and the West Coast Eagles at the Adelaide Oval should be a win for Port. Coming off, let's have a look. Coming off a 28-point loss to Brisbane last week at the Gabba, which was expected, obviously, because Brisbane, they're just too good at the Gabba. Adelaide against a really lowly West Coast side, which they're searching for the second win of the season. Damn. So, I'm just going to the power to get this done with no hesitations whatsoever. I'm going to say the power to get this done by 60 points, which probably I think this may be the blowout, because this round is going to be much better games than last week's. Last week's was like literally everything except for 2 games where it was a snooze fest. So I'm going to say the power to get this done by 60 points, and the big call is, let's see, Power Pepper is out, so I'm going to say Parlay will get 10 goals or more at halftime. Alright guys, that's got to do it for my round 18 footy tips. If you guys enjoyed this, please leave a like, comment and subscribe. And thanks for everyone who tuned in to my YouTube and live streams and watch all my videos and tuned in with me. And I'll see you in another video, potentially in Sydney, alright? Thank you all for watching. See you again in another YouTube video or a live stream, probably in Sydney.